Okay, question there. Okay, so when you look at this third example, which variable should we be solving for? On which equations? On the second one. It's the only one without a coefficient. I'm going to give you one with coefficients in a minute, but it's the only one. So solve for the x on the bottom. This is the one you want to solve for. It's the best one. So I have x equals 4y plus 8, 8 plus 4y, whatever you like. Then I'm going to plug this into the other equation for x. So x equals this expression, so it's going to go into the other equation for x. So I'm going to have 2. My x is going to come out. My 4y plus 8 goes in. Minus 8y equals 6. So I distribute, and I have 8y plus 16 minus 8y equals 6. 8y and minus 8y cancel each other out. And I get this. 16 equals 6. Is 16 equals 6 a true statement? It is not. So when your variable cancels out and your statement is not true, your statement is false, this is a no solution question. If I had graphed this, what kind of lines would I have? Parallel. Okay? So this would have been parallel lines had I graphed it. Algebraically solving it, if you get a false statement, that's when you have no solution. Caleb?
Would it have been the same if we had done any substituted for any other variable?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay? So algebraically, that's what that's going to look like for a no solution. If you came out with a true statement, if it said 16 equals 16, those are our coincident lines then, and that's our infinite solutions. I don't think I gave you one like that before. They're kind of weird questions, so I usually stay away from it. Okay, I just have one more example there. Okay, you'll notice that one of our equations is fractions. Don't do substitution with fractions. Don't do any of these methods. Well, graphing you have to, but don't do elimination and don't do substitution with fractions. Eliminate them first. So LCD is 6. So I end up with 6. 2 goes into 6 3 times, so 3y. 3 goes into 6 twice. 4x equals 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, so these are my two equations now. 3y minus 2x is 4, and 3y minus 4x is 6. None of them are without a coefficient. So up front, just looking at it, there's not, pop out easy one. Okay, so this is the process I would be going through for this. Okay. If I'm going to solve for y here, that means I'm going to have to eventually divide by 3. So that means I'm going to end up with a 2/3 and a 4/3. I don't like that. If I solve for x here, I'm going to be dividing by 2. So I'm going to end up with 3 over 2 and a 2. That's better. Okay? If I look down here, if I'm going to solve this one for y, I'm going to end up dividing by 3. So I have a 4/3 and a 2. Not bad. And this one for x would make 3/4 and 6/4. Don't like that one at all. So if I'm going to pick, I'm going to either pick this x or this y. It doesn't matter. They're both going to give you one fraction. You can't avoid fractions completely on this question. It doesn't work. Okay? I'm just going to go with this bottom one here. So I'm going to solve this bottom equation for y. So I'm going to add my 4x. So 4x plus 6, 6 plus 4x, whatever you like. And then divide by 3 all the way across. And I get y equals 4 over 3x, or 4/3, x, and then 6 over 3 is 2. So I eliminated my fractions to get an equation. So I'm looking at my system, deciding which variable I'm going to solve for because I cannot do it without having a fraction. And it doesn't matter. You could solve for any of the 4 variables, either x or either y. I just chose one that gave me the least amount of fractions. So now I'm ready to make my substitution. So this is going to go into the other equation for y. So 3, y is going to come out, 4/3 x plus 2 goes in. The rest of the equation stays the same. So I distribute, and I get 4x plus 6 minus 2x equals 4. Put your x's together. 2x plus 6 equals 4. Minus the 6. So 2x is negative 2, and divide, and x is negative 1. And then I can put that negative 1 back to the beginning questions, but I always go back to my substitution equation. I go there. So y is 4/3 times a negative 1 plus 2. So what do I have? Negative 4/3 plus 6/3, 2/3. I did that right in my head. 6 over 3 is 2. 6 over 3 minus 4 over 3. 2 over 3. Yeah. So negative 1 2/3 is my final answer. That one would be a little trickier to plug in here. You can do it, but it would be a little trickier.